Hello, and welcome to Creator Fury. This is your weekly podcast where we will share with you tips and tools on what makes creator content engaging, short form content engaging. And my name is Sherman. I'm out here in New Jersey. I've been a filmmaker for over 15 years, and I'm hosted with
Leo Curbelo, and I'm also a filmmaker, and I work out of New York City, currently in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. This is my home office, where I get stuck with every day for about 12 hours a day on a good day. But yeah, so Aaron and I have a long relationship of working on projects. We met at an ad agency in the late 90s. How long did you work there?
We were wee tots back then.
Yeah. How long did you work there at Young and Rubicam, the famous Young and Rubicam that's not around anymore?
Yeah, they're to the wayside. If you hear outside, it's fall and the leaf blowing right now. So if that gets into the mix, my apologies. But yeah. Anyway, so I was there for quite a while. Then they executed me in 2005, I guess. But
that was what happened then. It's something that's going to go into today's topic, is how advertising shrunk. All of a sudden, I think the internet itself led to the internet. Advertising and marketing and promoting became sort of niche, like a niche industry, and all these companies started getting bought out. Young and Rubicam got bought out by WPP, which is a big British company. And I remember I worked advertising from like 94, well, till now. I still do some advertising stuff. But in 94, I was working more in the print area. And there were about 25 agencies that controlled all the small agencies. And now I think there's 8.
Right. And they're still eating each other. There's you're interested in that kind of thing. The holding companies are just constantly merging, and so they're always trying to, when that happens, they slough people off. So that's what happened to me in 2005.
Right. And I think I left Y&R in 2002 to start editing. I started working on reality television as an editor. But I haven't done that for a while. I'll do mostly commercial work and corporate work, in a sense of which we'll be talking about today. Is commercial, corporate work, sort of combine the two. And just this month, I was doing commercials for the elections here in New York City, in New York State as well. So that kept me busy, and that happens usually around late September to late October, of course, right before the election, and that's what I was doing. And I worked in 2 candidates, and they both won. So hopefully in 4 years, they'll be returning. And I work for this other company that handles a lot of corporate work, a lot of candidates, So that's what I've been doing, keep myself busy.
Anyway, well, we're gonna talk about like what is one of the key ingredients to making a video engaging. And one of the videos I did, and which we're going to concentrate on and we'll show you in a second, was a video I did well over a decade ago. And they're still using it today, and they have never come back to me since because it keeps working.
Well, good content works. Good content made well works. And
that's what we want to point out. That it's like not you as a content, you as a business owner, have been probably hit with all the TikTok videos. You got to keep putting stuff out, and that's not really the case. A few videos on select items is all you need, and it's just going to your ROI is going to go through the roof. And we'll show you in this video a certain instance where that happened. But
right, it's about how you present it as well. Certain businesses don't need to have that constant update. It gets expensive for a small business to be filming, editing a spot together every week, and you think you got to fight that with with everybody else on the internet. But the case here is that I can you tell us how the owner of this company shopped the video around?
Right. So they're a cleaning company, industrial cleaning company, and they weren't doing poorly, but they were on a sort of an analog way of introducing their business to restaurants. So they came to me and asked if I could do a video for them, and I went and shot everything, edited, created everything. So very low budget, low production value, and when it was finished, sent them a DVD, and the owner went around for his sales calls. He walked into a restaurant. He asked him what he could do for them, and he's popped open his little DVD player, played this less than 2-minute video, and sold them right then and there.
Right. It's
And
perfect for a business that has to connect with clients face to face, which most small businesses do that. Your restaurant, the corner, your flower shop, your anything that has to do, face to face with the client, as opposed to some service that could be done from Asia, which a lot of telecommunications and internet services that way. But we're talking about feet on the ground type of work, right? And now the equivalent of the guy walking around with a DVD player is now your phone. You have a video on your phone, or you have it on your YouTube channel or on a website, and you can show the client, here, look, this is me, this is what I do. Or at worst, send them a link, as a preamble to a meeting. Because sooner or later, you're gonna have to meet with these people
yeah,
face to
yeah,
face. And that's what it's about. It's about creating promotional for your business that
absolutely.
you
And this could be something that you run in the lobby of your business, or like Leo said, on your phone or your iPad and stuff. So it's an easy way to, you don't have to be on the internet. You only need a few customers to, to make engagement, and then referrals happen from that, and it's sort of dominoes. So
back to something like you said about playing something in the lobby of business reminds me of this series of videos I did a while back as well for it was a fashion house in Japan, but fashion is international, right? So we would shoot these videos with models here in New York City and in other places, and then we'll cut them together as a music video that will play inside the store, but without music. And the store, it played to whatever music was playing in the store, you know? But it was like advertising the fashion that we're selling. But it was very flashy, very cutty, state of the art, famous models, famous photographer. Everything was done, it was a high end quality of production. But it played like that. It played just as an ad for whatever they were selling in the store in that season. And those videos lasted, 'cause again, fashion is something that's more ephemeral.
it's very evergreen.
The fall. No, not evergreen, the opposite. It only lasted for 3 months. But 3 months because fashion changes. Every 3 months, you get your whole new fashion sense. But that was a different thing that we did, and it played both as a music video and as an advertising. But like you said, playing in your store or whatever lobby of your building, that's the equivalent of what we were doing back then.
It gets people engaged with the content, with the service that you're offering. So
Right. And that's the big difference, like you said before, about creating a TikTok or something on YouTube, and not even YouTube, but Instagram, like a 30-second thing. That gets pushed down. You post it today, unless you make something amazing that's gonna get 1 million views, it's gonna get pushed down. It's gonna go up and leave. You know, Especially if you shot it with a phone, low quality, it's not gonna have a lasting value. And getting back what you brought before about evergreen, that's what we're discussing today. Evergreen content, content that can last you. Like this person's had it for over 10 years and is still getting business, right? But before we go into what happened, before we go into the history or what happens afterwards, let's get to the preamble and show the actual product that you created, right? That it may look, it may not be as exciting as, you know, a TikTok with somebody falling off a tree and landing in a vat of Jello. Now this is real advertising. This is real marketing.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, everything, other than some color correction, everything and some graphics at the beginning, there's really not much like over the top, like Marvel-esque,
It's a documentary.
Uber production. It's just this is the thing, and that's what spoke to the clients. So
You were documenting the actual product and the service they're providing. Right.
So here we go without
Yeah. Now
delay.
Mhm.
Uh,
So what is the name of the company?
the name of the company is Brothers Industrial Cleaning. They're out in Minnesota.
And what is their actual, what is the genre of the business? What does the
So
business
they're a
actually
cleaning
do?
company, and
Mm.
most of their clients are restaurants or big facilities like stadiums and
Oh, wow.
and I can't even think of, like, I think they even clean prisons and all that
Oh,
stuff. So
that's a
they're
job.
huge. They're very big. And this video, I mean, they were doing pretty good as it was before, but
Mhm.
this video
Another word, Aaron. You were their savior, Aaron.
put them over the top. And they're making well over 7 figures.
Wow. All right. So we'll watch the video first, and then we'll go back and analyze it a little bit. So it's short, right?
If you're cooking, you're accumulating grease that builds up tenaciously. Removing it requires a professional cleanup so your kitchen can stay sparkling clean and totally safe. That's why you call Brothers. We arrive in one of our state-of-the-art cleaning trucks with our custom-made proprietary pressure cleaning systems. Our professional crews give you confidence as you welcome us into your business for an after-hours cleaning. With 30 years of experience, we know how to protect your cooking environment as we get the job done quickly and efficiently. Our equipment blasts away grease and grime with the power of 26,250 cleaning pounds per minute, unmatched by any other company. We won't miss a spot, rinsing the floors under the cooking line, polishing all the stainless steel surfaces that most companies miss. When you come in the next morning, you'll find an immaculate kitchen. From hood and baffles through every part of the exhaust system, all that nasty grease will be gone. It'll be like starting fresh with a brand new kitchen. That's what sets Brothers apart from any other company in the business. Your cleanup becomes our obsession.
All right, great. That was cool. We'll rewind that a little bit, and we'll play it again. We can discuss. I want to discuss something about your structure here. Of course, start up with the logo. That's pretty good. Know that people know who they are. And then you're showing the dirty kitchen. This is the before, right? So you're setting up. This is the problem that the client has. Look how filthy this kitchen is. And then you really gotta go through the whole thing. Yeah. The dirty ducts, you got the grease, this is outside. Right. That's what I'm getting, right? I'm getting all, and then here come the heroes. They're arriving. They got the van. They're like the Ghostbusters of dirt, right?
Yep.
Pretty much.
And by the way, like,
Yeah.
we're not, neither of us are affiliated with Brothers, and the content of this is not what we're, if you want to hire them for your business, that's fine. But
Sure.
this is we're
The
just
making
talking
of the
about
video, the structure, the story structure that created the video. So now we got our heroes are at work now, right?
and then the
Prepping the whole
voiceover
thing, that's
here
so-
talks about how their solution is proprietary. The way that they clean is unmatched in the business. And then you have them like being very thorough about what they're doing. Because a lot of this stuff is like, state standard.
Right.
They have to be very compliant to what the state wants for them.
Yeah, here in New York, you're allowed 2 rats to live in the kitchen. And in France, you can be the chef.
Right. If you're ratatouille, right?
Ratatouille, you can be the chef. That's cool. Now, when you shot this yourself?
I shot it myself, me, myself, and I.
This is one night, one out of cleaning,
One
or did
night.
you do many nights?
We
Just
did
one
not.
night? Wow.
One night.
Wow. So it took like maybe a few hours, 3-4 hours of shooting?
I think it was about 8 hours. Yeah,
Oh,
because
8 hours.
they had to do all the cleaning.
Oh, it takes a while then. Oh,
And
all right.
and
it's
I
done
had to
overnight
make
because-
sure I got this. Once they cleaned the spot, I couldn't get the dirty part of it. So,
right. So
I had to
and
do
they this
all the
overnight because the restaurant's closed at night, and they do this overnight. So you were working like from midnight to 8 a.m., something like that?
something like that. Yeah.
Whatever, 10 p.m., what have you. Depends on all right. Yeah, I knew somebody who had a business like this back in the 80s. And they did this. They cleaned offices and they cleaned restaurants. Yeah. And they did pretty well for themselves too. But anyway, I'm going back to the structure of your story here. Now, did you go with them beforehand? Because I want to know, for instance,
No,
let's say a
called.
client.
The brief was, we need a video that
Right.
shows our process. They didn't want to give anything away because their solution is proprietary, but they wanted to, demonstrate, how can you tell people, oh yeah, we get it clean. You have to take our word for it without like some sort of visual thing. And this absolutely establishes how dirty, and every restaurant owner knows how dirty their kitchens get. And then they need it. And then immediately this was clean. And so, there was no CGI.
I was asking more in a generic way, because right now I know we're dealing with a restaurant cleaner, but let's say it was a flower shop or a coffee shop or whatever type of service or industry you're tackling with a project. Did you go ahead of time and spend time with them cleaning, or just you knew ahead of time and say, okay, these are my shots, this is what I got to get? Because, for instance, a client may not be able to do 2 or 3 days of prep work. They want you to show up and just get the job done, right? That's what it seems like here. Like you did all the prep work and then went in to shoot?
No. This was all their assignment. They picked the location. They obviously asked the restaurant owners if it was okay. And we selected a night and we went and did it. And, I just knew what I had, we talked about what I was going to cover,
Right. And you're a one-man crew. This is one person doing all the work, all the video work. Lighting-wise, I guess the restaurant has good lighting because it's for
Well,
cooking.
they
You need that good
also,
lighting.
I did bring some lights with me, but
Mhm.
they also had a couple of like industrial cleaning, like, you see on the side of the road, some lights and stuff. So they had those big broad lights to help
Uh,
highlight some things.
and now, I mean, this is, like I said, this is a few years back, and now the lighting kits have changed so much. I mean, they're tiny now. Now you get like little box like this with 2 LED lights, and boom,
Yep.
you're done.
That's what I
So you
got
could've
right here.
now- right, you could have lit it with $100 kit right now, and you got the same type of a thing out of there. Luckily, you didn't have to record any dialogue, right? Because everybody was just working there.
No, right. Yeah. This was not an audio
It was an MOS, as they say.
sensitive issue.
Right.
I did record audio just to have it in case I needed it. But yeah, for the most part, we were just, we were probably talking through a lot of the shots.
So yeah, so any service like that where people show up, like like the quality of this would be like a landscaping service. You can go follow a company that has a big job that day, record them doing their work, and boom, you have an amazing video.
I mean,
You have
if
like a
you
nice
have the budget and or the time to do multiple locations and stuff like that, that's perfectly fine. But it's if you can get what you do, the essence of your business,
right.
through one project, it's amazing what you can cover.
Yeah. And, I mean, cheapest case scenario here will be like in this thing here where a filmmaker shows up with a camera, maybe a microphone, mixes a bunch of stuff together, and then cuts a nice tape, for the client to show around. Because I mean, I see him all the time. I see you on TikTok, look at me, I'm gardening, things of that nature. But it doesn't have the same personal connection as a video like this has. Because you see the guys work and you see them, and the location is very familiar to them. I'm sure any restaurant owner sees that and says, "Oh, look, looks just like my restaurant. Did a great job." And what happened after this video? You mentioned before that the owner, walked around with the DVD, as opposed to now where they can just do it with a phone. I mean, here's my
Right.
phone.
I'm sure he has it
got the
on
video
his
on my phone.
phone or
Just
his iPad.
Right.
I don't think he does as many sales calls now just because his business has exploded. I mean, I think they turn people away now, and most of their contracts are in the 7 figures. But I think if you go on YouTube and you look at this video, I don't think the views are very high. So I think that's because they have it
Yeah,
embedded
it's
on
not
their
made for that.
phones and they just show it.
It's not made for that because how do you get certain clients to see a YouTube video? You have to tell them. It isn't like, a 13-year-old boy is going to be sitting down and go, "Oh my God, look at this. They're cleaning a restaurant," It's not made for that.
How many people find this very interesting right now? I mean,
Yeah,
be
well,
honest.
we like the nuts and bolts of it. We enjoy the nuts and bolts of it, and that the client was satisfied and the client had success with it, and shows that people can have success with it as well. Because it isn't made to make what is the word? I think I'm missing the word. To make a video that's gonna go viral. It's not a viral video.
Right.
It's a tool. You're creating a tool for the client.
It hits instantly the pain point. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, if maybe you're a cake baker and, someone just needs a beautiful cake and you know how to make those cakes. You've been doing it for years. You just film yourself making this cake from it's flour and water, right? How is this amazing thing? And then you bring it to the event that it's going to be presented at, and you just see the faces just light up, and tells the whole story right there.
Right.
That's an amazing. It's a amazing before and after situation.
What was the ROI on this? The return on investment on this project?
Oh, I think they paid me somewhere around 10,000. I don't really remember. It could have been a little bit less.
And that included you did the whole thing. That included
Right.
prepping,
I paid for the
creating the script.
voiceover actor,
Okay, shooting, editing,
shooting,
color correcting,
editing, graphics, all of that. Music.
music. You bought the music. Is it a licensed music?
Yep. It's
So-
I got it from. I don't know what
Stockhouse.
actually, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I was stuck, but it's a few $100s.
Yeah.
And the license for them to put it on YouTube. It all depends. Yeah.
So their ROI is probably 1,000 times over what they paid for this. So, and our MO is not to say, hey, you only need one video from us, but that's the idea is that less is more. You don't
Right,
have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to
Right.
get stuff done.
Because this one video changed the business. It turned them around. And you said they're already doing well, but this really put them over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really set them apart from all of their competition. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause, like, going back to my earlier point about how advertising has changed. If you watch Mad Men, for instance, say this client had to go to an ad agency, a local ad agency, a small ad agency, say, "Oh, listen, I need this and that." You would have gotten posters, you would have gotten an ad in the newspaper, an ad in some popular magazine, cleaning kitchens or us, whatever. It would have been a whole mega campaign that would have cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars, $500,000 possibly. And the ROI wouldn't have been as equivalent because there's still a small company that's going to hit. There's only so many restaurants you can clean, right? There's a bar you're going to hit. So this is made for small business. For small business, it's not worth for them to do a gigantic campaign. You want to they want to focus their promotional video, their marketing video, their advertising video straight to the client, and now you can post it on YouTube and send the client the link, or because you can't bring the client with you to clean the kitchen, you know, but having that, showing them who works for you, the comfortable these people are serious about what they do. It's the way that things work now.
Yeah.
Nobody. But back to, we mentioned young Aruba camps no longer around, because it became obsolete. Now everything is, what they try to sell you is put everything on the internet, right? If you're Coca-Cola, sure, but if you're a small agency, a small company, that's small service, you need to get right to the client. And if you just put it on the internet, it's going to get lost. You need something you can bring to the client yourself. And that's a fascinating. The guy can walk around with a DVD player, but now you can walk around with an iPhone or iPad, same thing. Just show the client what you can do.
I mean, how many times I go to, I love this new yogurt place, yogurt company called, I, I probably shouldn't say the name, but I love this yogurt place. And in their shop, they have a screen of all of their like cool, mixed yogurt drinks. And it's, I love watching it. It's very pretty.
Right.
But this is something that you can have in your shops, that tells the story and brings more, like, just makes it more human, more engaging. It really ties into that emotional appeal that makes us as humans want to be a part of what this thing is that you're selling us. So
I have a store here in the corner. I won't say the store, but it's owned by a Greek gentleman, and he sells olive oil that he makes in Greece. But he has a screen above the counter that's playing 24/7 this video of him making the olive oil. I don't know how old this video is, but actually this week he got me to buy it. I mean, I've been going through a few years. I said, okay, you know what? You got me. I'll buy the olive oil. And he does well. It's like $25 for a bottle of olive oil, and it's raw. It's, it's natural. And
that's
but the
very
guy has
interesting.
plain old time, him making the olive oil, him walking around, and it's not like, I don't know how long it is. It's probably like 2 minutes long because I've seen the same clips over and over again. He's walking around Greece, picking up with his workers, picking up the olives, bringing them back to the grinder. Some old man that's grinding it, You see you come out, and it's the guy who's behind the counter, is the owner of the store.
That's
And
fantastic.
it's really fascinating that if you might find it quaint now, but he's really taking advantage of technology. And I think it's a DVD player. Again, it's like a DVD player playing, constantly this one video.
That reminded
And
me
for
of when I was a kid. Actually, there was this cheese, it was this cheese place. It was
cheesemonger.
it was actually a very touristy shop.
Right.
I grew up in a touristy town, and the but at the back wall they had a video of the workers making the cheese, and it kept you as a consumer in the shop because you were like interested. Oh wow. And then they had a
And it made you hungry.
window into the factory where they were making the cheese, and then of
Right.
course right next to there they had a table of cheese samples. And so if the longer you stay in the shop, the better, that's
Just,
going to make
just
people
like the
buy.
video you made, which was very realistic, very, boots on the ground type of thing, very similar to the olive oil video the guy has in the store playing. It's a lot more engaging than something highly glossy with a bunch of graphics, a bunch of CGI. It takes you out of it, It right with these videos sort of include you in the process, make it realistic for you, ground them, makes it like, oh, it's almost like you're picking it off the vine. When I buy this olive oil, it's like I'm picking it off the vine because I see it being made in front of me. And that's an engaging way. That's almost like the future of advertising and promoting for small businesses and middle-sized businesses, depending on the service you're providing. The production aspect of it. Now, you say you shot it in one day, right? And then editing, what was it, maybe 3-4 days, you think? Or
Uh, yeah, I think it took me a little bit of time to get through it, and that's back. I think I used at the time I had a camera that was tape, so so the
digitizing.
little bit of longer process in terms of like ingesting it, the footage and stuff. So, but now that would be instantaneous. But so there was a little bit more of a prep process in that. So if you factor that in, probably took me, about 3 days.
Right. Yeah, because I just cut this week. I did a couple of passes on a corporate video that was shot digitally, of course, and it had about 3 hours of interviews and 4.5 hours of B-roll. The video is 3 minutes long, and of course this is high end stuff. This is they sent somebody to Singapore, I think it was, and shot stuff for about 2 days. The interviews of these high end executives, and they shot a bunch of B-roll, 2 cameras. So we had a bunch of stuff to work with. But I turned that over 9 hours, 10 hours of editing, with prepping and then cutting a couple of passes. Again, somebody else wrote the script to follow.
Right.
Now, did you write the script?
I collaborated. Mostly it was the owner because he had a certain thing of messaging, but we worked together on it because once they don't always know exactly how to say what they want to say, but he told me what he wanted to say and then we reworked it together.
Because you said the budget was about 10 grand, but you have to take into account the days
Right,
it took to write the script.
That's 10 grand all in. That's the shooting and the editing and the graphics and
Does that include you traveling? Because you had to travel to Minnesota, or
they
you were already there, or something like that.
It might have been on a it might have been on a visit. So I think that it was sort of like incorporating the fact that I was already there. So
Right.
that,
But then again,
if that's the case, I would have had them pay for the ticket, which,
But a creative like you, a filmmaker like yourself, you're hired to do a project, which this happens many times, often a few times a year. You have to travel, and depending on the size of the project, you either bring your own camera or you hire another camera person, 2 camera people,
right.
you hire a lighting person, depending on the scope. I mean, it's all about scope, right?
But again, even if this had been a higher budget, I was sort of, I wouldn't, and this is not a thing for you to do out there. Do not sell yourself short and do not pay for less than services, because what you see is what you get, kind of thing. I think I sold myself a little bit short, and I did give a lower number, I think, when I did this, and I did offer part of, like, as a package deal, a lower price. But even if I had charged $20,000 for this, which would have been probably more appropriate, they still, again, made 1,000 times more than what they put into it. So when you invest in a video like this, it's about investing in yourself and not thinking about, oh, this is going to set me back a certain amount of money. It might, but you're gonna make more when you get that hook in there.
It has to do also where you're, again, now we're talking to the filmmakers, not just the clients. It has to do where you are in your career, right? Now, if you try to make a name for yourself, you got to cut a few corners. You're not going to make as much money. You want to kind of impress clients. You want to kind of have something for your portfolio to show. So you're lowballing and you're bringing down the scope of your production. But then it also has to do with the scope of the client. If the client is makes $1 million a year, they can afford to have a bigger production. You can afford to charge them more for it. A smaller company, now you got to bring the scope of your production as well. Now you're gonna be just yourself, with the camera and a bunch of lights, so you can do everything yourself.
But
And
so you're speaking to like filmmakers like us
right,
in this regard.
exactly. I mean,
But I think
you
one of the things that is really important to not pay for your project out of your own pocket. Meaning, don't assume that you think that someone isn't going to be able to pay for this, or just because you personally wouldn't be able to pay for it doesn't mean that your client isn't willing or that there isn't value in it. And that's the important thing to understand, that there is an amazing amount of value in production, low production or high production. There's an amazing amount of value in it when you put out quality stuff.
right. And I mean, and now we hear all the time, oh, you just take your phone. I just take my phone and shoot with my phone. You take No, that's not the case, because the way the phone shoots, they don't really make you can drop frames, stuff. The digital sensor in the camera isn't as fast as the camera I'm using now, or this stream is a little latent right now, so it's not getting a good quality out of it. But it's a 4K camera. This is more depth. You can have shallow focus. You can have deep focus. That's that stuff you get with an iPhone. And an iPhone tends to shake. I mean, now, people tell, oh, I shot this movie on an iPhone. Yeah, but it's strapped to a huge server that's capturing stuff faster than your phone, and it's had a $12 lens on it.
I
You know,
laugh at those things. That's not that. I mean, yeah. So you shot them out. You used an iPhone in your workflow. That doesn't mean that you just shot on an iPhone.
Yeah, it makes it seem that people walking around doing this. And they should make a phone. Somebody should make a movie like this. I like to see that, and going deep into the technology, and accepting the technology. But that's not gonna look professional when you're trying to promote your business. That's when you gotta just talk to the clients now, and you gotta spend money to make money, as they say.
Exactly.
you know? So what is your overall theory then? What is your call to action, if you will, when it comes to productions of this type?
So, you as a business owner are having difficulty with thinking about, oh, I have to, just because you need to get your message out there, that you have to constantly put content out, and you don't have time for that. Your business needs you. You need to concentrate on the things that make your business, whether that's a service or a product. And we are here to help you lift that burden from your shoulders. We can make stuff very easily on a very, very low budget considering, and we are able to make those messages, your message, who you are, come through that video. So that's what we're here for. So please, if you thought this information was wonderful, you want to tune in next week for the next topic that we talk about, please sign in below, like, subscribe, do all the things that we'd love to hear from you. Comment about what you want to hear from us too. I mean, Leo's got a plethora of information about all kinds of things, and his mind is constantly going. So
Look at my books and my movies.
and if you have trivia that you want to ask him, maybe we should do that on the next podcast. Like,
It'll have to be a live
say a
show.
line from a movie and he'll pull it out. He'll even tell
Yeah.
you what day that was recorded on and why the first take wasn't made.
I wouldn't go that far. But you mentioned something about signing up. You have an email, don't you? You have a newsletter.
Yes. Yeah. So you want to hear from us, get the newsletter, our weekly newsletter, sign in below, and get on our email list, and we'll be in touch with you. If you want to talk to us directly about a project you've got going on, there's a link for that as well below, and we'd love to hear from you.
And this is open to both, if you will, creators and clients, because we want to sort of serve both. We want to help other creators move forward with their careers, but clients who may need help, either we can come in and help you out, or we can point you to somebody in your area, your region, who can help you out. That'll be another way to use the creator fury
Yeah.
that we have within us.
We are a full network. We have people, I mean, technically we have people globally, right, Leo? I mean,
Yeah, I work all the time. I work from home. I work for a company that's based in Europe a lot. One of my clients is based in Europe. And then they have producers and editors spread around the world. All the people, all the freelance like myself, they could be in California, they could be in Florida, they could be in South America, and it happens all the time. I'm emailing, we're checking to see what time zone somebody's in,
So whatever your
nowadays,
situation is, we can be there for you. It may not be us directly, but we will be connected to it.
oh yeah, totally. I mean, again, all the time, people all over the world. It's crazy how the business changed. We used to have to work out of one studio and wait for the tapes to come in and lock them in. And now everything's like, boom, boom, boom. It's the speed. But again, the speed doesn't change the quality. The quality still needs somebody who knows what they're doing. And I think that's the big takeaway from modern day promotions, modern day production of advertising, marketing, media, is that again, having a phone doesn't make you a filmmaker. There's story to be told. There's engaging with the client and helping the client engage with their customers. That's a whole thing you learn, through doing.
Exactly.
Big difference. It isn't about viral videos. We're talking about creating stuff to pitch straight to your customers, especially if you're a service agency. Do you concur?
I
Do you
do.
concur, Mr. Sherman?
I concur. Yes, absolutely. Thank
Right,
you.
so anybody,
Thanks for watching. This has been amazing. Do you have anything else to say you wanted to add?
I would say reach out to me at you can reach me at Instagram, leocurbelofilm, or I should put my email. Well, I shouldn't put my email. That's okay. So just comment below.
Check the links below as
Yeah,
well. Yeah,
better.
because I'll have my other contact information there too as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate you. We want to learn more about what you want to see. Please tell us everything that you liked about this, and we'll see you in the next podcast.